now back to battle for 10th. 63 is Greg Pope out of Monroe, North Carolina. And Wilkinson and Skillman right behind them, battling for third place. The 17 there is Roger Parker. John Boy Wilkinson in the 59 and 61-year young Ray Skillman in that 71.
Ray looked like he recovered from that close call on the backstretch of a few laps ago. Cost him a lot of ground, but he's been able to pull right back up on John Wilkinson's bumper here. He's got a great car tonight.
Both Wilkinson and Skillman doing a good job of negotiating the lap traffic. And here with Pope and Parker.
Greg Pope finished 6th at Nashville last week on a racetrack that most closely resembles this racetrack, a high-speed racetrack with restrictor plates.
Greg Pope, best finish last year was a 5th at Bristol. 46 years old, his 4th season in the series. Now Brian Smith on pit road, and just as you said, no tires. Only fuel for Brian Smith in the 0 car.
Looks like he has one of Shane Meals' crew guys putting gas in the car right now. He's spending putting a lot of gas in that thing. It looked like he put a full can in there. I'm not sure these guys will need a full can. Here comes Eddie Mercer, yeah.
Finished 2nd last week at Nashville, and he's taking tires, Phil.
Yeah, he actually had fallen off the pace, it looked like, a little bit, so he may feel like he has some sort of a problem. So probably better safe than sorry and put the tires on this thing.
Now the battle for 3rd place, and Skillman now in 3rd place. Wow. Out of Greenwood, Indiana, as Glenn Jarrett told you, a car dealer, has run in the past in ASA and Indiana Late Model Series.
You know, it seems like with these cars so evenly matched, running wide open every lap, that the cars stay together with the same group of people the whole time. I mean, these guys have been racing together lap after lap after lap. We saw Brian Smith and Eric Darnell for 50 laps running nose to tail, so everybody except Scott Carlson.
Wilkinson and Skillman have gotten to know each other pretty well. Now here's our leader, Scott Carlson, coming down on pit road, and he will surrender the lead for the first time tonight. Carlson, the pole sitter out of Pensacola, Florida. Will he take fuel only? Let's head down now to pit road. Covering his stop, here's Glenn Jarrett.
And leader Scott Carlson is coming down pit road in his number 57. This is the first time all night he's had to relinquish the lead. The crew has told me this will be gas and go, fuel only. They will clean the front grille. They're checking the tires on the right side, but they will not change tires. Man, only about 10 or 12 seconds, and Scott was down and away. Fuel only, so pretty good strategy there. They're getting awfully good tire wear. His lap times were still good. They decided not to take a chance on changing tires.
And the 2nd place car of Charlie Bradbury also on pit road and pretty much followed the leader, and that was a pretty quick fuel stop.
That sure was. That was only about 4 seconds. They added a piece of tape to the front end, a little more front downforce, a little faster, a little better aerodynamics.
Skillman also on pit road, and that gives the lead to John Wilkinson. John Boy Wilkinson is not pitted yet. And you wonder how far he will go, or will he try to stretch it all the way? Can he make it? We've had no cautions yet tonight, and we've got a new leader. It's John Wilkinson III. Out of Hueytown, Alabama, a city that's been home to some famous racing names, John Wilkinson III. Now your leader. He has not pitted. He's a rookie, but he's a veteran driver, just his first year in this series. Not a rookie driver by any stretch of the imagination. And the question is now, when will he pit, or will he have to?
Looks like there's Stanley Smith, the 49 car. Stanley's a lap down, but he's right on John Wilkinson's bumper. So I think probably he may be trying to conserve a little fuel now to try to make it to the rest of the way.
Here's Roger Parker. He was running in 11th place, penalized for rolling through the pit box. Stop and go penalty. Tough break for Roger Parker.
Probably a 15-second penalty there, and it seems like an eternity. You sit there for 15 seconds, and it seems like it's 10 minutes.
Now with enough fuel to go the distance, the battle for 4th place. Miller and last week's winner at Nashville, Charlie Bradbury, in the red 78.
Again, these are a couple guys that have been essentially together the entire race. They've been running second through fourth, it seems like the entire race. Joey Miller and Charlie Bradbury.
And the big question now is, when will or does the leader have to pit? John Wilkinson. Let's go down to Glenn.
Well, the leader, John Wilkinson, is still out on the racetrack. He has 83 laps of green flag racing on that tank of fuel and on those tires. I talked to his crew chief, David Melton, and David said they're going to try to ride it out till about lap 91 or 92. They think they can go that far. I said, why do you want to go that far? He said, well, there's always a chance that the caution might come out, so we're going to go just as far as we possibly can. Man, that's risky going that far on fuel, but they say they can make it.
Now the battle for second place, that is Darnell and Carlson. And boy, Carlson's back up to speed in a hurry, going by Eric Darnell.
Sure is. Remember, Eric Darnell is another one of the cars that is not pitted yet. So Wilkinson in first, now Darnell in third, have not pitted. Scott Carlson has already made his pit stop, and he's already back up to second.
And who would have thought at this point in the race we would have had no caution flags? But that's been the story, and it has really made for some interesting strategy in the pits about when do you pit. And Wilkinson trying to stretch that fuel as long as he can, hoping for that yellow flag.
He let Stanley Smith go by there. I'm assuming he let him go by. Now he can, if he needs to get up a little bit closer, when you get the effect of the draft, you can kind of back out of the throttle down the straightaway a little bit because the draft will suck you up. So he needs to get up closer to Stanley Smith. Then he can ease off the throttle a little bit and save some more fuel.
Charlie Bradbury battling Miller for fourth. Bradbury standing to take the points lead in this series, with the points leader, Jeff Bolts, having some trouble midway through.
But regardless of what happens to the rest of this race, that Joey Miller is tremendously impressive. 18 years old, first start, just a handful of starts under his belt in any kind of a stock car, I think. What a terrific job he's done.
I have a feeling we're going to be hearing from this young man many, many more times. Joey Miller out of Lakeville, Minnesota. And again, he's only 18 years old. First start in this series, really his first run on a big super speedway. Greg Pope, sixth place, taking fuel only. About 10 laps left to go now. Maybe a change in strategy for that car, Glenn.
Well, we're still in leader John Wilkinson's pit, and now his crew chief, David Melvin, has told me that they are not going to pit. They're going to try to stretch this thing and go all the way. By my count, that's 150 miles on a tank of fuel. And there's a car running out of fuel on the racetrack right now, or something happened. That's no Eddie Mercer, number 72. Smoke coming out, so the caution should probably come out as Mercer slows. So this could be the break that they are looking for here in the 59 pit. What a gamble, but it might pay off for them.
Eddie Mercer got his car right off the racetrack, so I don't think it may not necessitate a caution flag, Mike.
So Mercer coming down to the attention of his crew, and obviously with some serious problems on that car, but I do not see a yellow flag. And there he is, our leader on pit road. John Wilkinson is going to have to stop for fuel.
He must have got either the thing blubbered or he's got a fuel pressure gauge that started fluctuating on him, so it felt like he had to get in the pits.
Well, let's head back down now to pit road. Some of the drama here. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
And John Wilkinson finally brings the car in after that discussion, or the report that I just made. They decided it wasn't worth the risk. The fuel gauge was showing, or the fuel pressure gauge was showing almost empty, so they came in for a splash and go. Let's see if he can get back out in front of Scott Carlson's number 57.
And meanwhile, there's some real trouble on that right front for Eddie Mercer.
Yeah, tough break for Eddie Mercer. The obviously cut down the right front tire there, so it's gonna really hurt his finishing position.
Now back out in the lead, who else? Our pole sitter, Scott Carlson, who led most of this race. Gave it up when he came on pit road for fuel, but has regained the lead now. Can he hold on for the finish? What a day it's been so far for Scott Carlson. Under 4 laps to go now in the Kentucky 150, and this race is Scott Carlson's, it appears.
After making a pit stop, he's got about a 7-second lead over second place Eric Darnell, so he has just made a shambles of this thing.
Now the car running second is Eric Darnell. More on his story. Let's go back down to Glenn.
The only car so far by my estimation guy that hasn't stopped is number 7, Eric Darnell. I'm in his pit right now. They say that he hasn't stopped and they don't plan to stop. 150 miles on the tank of fuel. Of course, Eric's grandfather was the legendary Bay Darnell, who was a USAC stock car racer back in the 50s and 60s. Used to win a lot of races. I remember when my dad was running NASCAR Winter Cup races, Bay Darnell was winning a lot of USAC races. So they're rolling the dice, making the gamble. Looks like it might pay off. He's only got about 2.5 laps to go.
Another one of those young guns in this series who you'll hear a lot more from in the future, Eric Darnell. And meanwhile, Scott Carlson with now under 2 laps to go. And as you see, has led most of the way tonight. Very, very impressive. Won here last August as well.
That's our 5th place runner, Ray Skillman, right behind him. So he's got all but 3 other cars in the lead lap, or a lap down.
Now just 4 cars, including Carlson, on the lead lap. We are coming to the white flag this time. One more time around now for Scott Carlson. A week ago, finished 3rd after starting dead last at Nashville. Won here in August. Loves this racetrack. And boy, did he have the setup tonight.
Boy, race car drivers dream of having days like this where you can't do anything wrong. He had to make a pit stop. Eric Darnell, it looks like the 2nd place car is going to be able to finish, but he was still fast enough to be able to overcome that and win this race.
So around the arm out the window, the wave to the crowd here. The checkered flag waves for Scott Carlson, who for the 2nd straight race here at Kentucky has come home a winner. Now, the battle for 3rd place. Joey Miller, Charlie Bradbury in the 78 wants to get him, can't do it. What a run for Miller.
Sure was a tremendous run. 18-year-old Joey Miller and Charlie Bradbury more than likely will take over the point lead with a 4th place finish.
And a happy night now for Scott Carlson in out of Pensacola, Florida, who has won here at Kentucky. Let's take a look now at our final results. Joey Miller, what a run. And again, only 4 cars on the lead lap.
153 mile an hour average speed. That's the fastest stock car race in the history of Kentucky Speedway.
Down through the field. Stanley Smith finished 12th, a couple laps down. Jeff Fultz, who came in leading the points, 30th tonight, 49 laps down. Well, let's go down to victory lane. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
And Scott Carlson got a towel wiping his face off there, preparing to get himself out. He's got all his belts and stuff unhooked, puts the glasses back on. Taking a moment to say a prayer. And Scott Carlson has all the safety belts unhooked there. The harnesses, the Hans devices all out. He climbs out of the car. For the first time in the history of Kentucky Speedway, a completely caution-free race. Still got 1 belt to go there, Scott. This man has this place figured out. 2nd consecutive pole, 2nd consecutive victory. Man, what an awesome performance, Scott. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, this was an awesome run for us tonight. Advanced Construction Services put us up here along with Moxie Services. They come on board for this race, and I'll tell you what, this Amner motor had awesome power, and I'll tell you what, this is really a big race for us to win. We come up here shorthanded, had problems in practice, and fortunately we got on the pole, and I'll tell you what, this is really something.
Well, it is something, but you have a knack for these super speedways, particularly here in Kentucky. It's almost like you could drive this place with your eyes closed.
Well, no, I think I had my eyes closed at practice whenever I hit those cones, but no, that won't work. You really got to be on your game here to run with these guys. I don't run with All Pro or this series on a regular basis, and to come here and do this, I tell you what, it's a big tribute to the whole team and everybody involved with this team, and we couldn't be happier.
Congratulations again, Scott, on a great performance. Go and celebrate, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And a big smile, well-deserved for Scott Carlson. Point standings, Charlie Bradbury takes over the lead.
Yeah, John Wilkinson jumps up to 2nd. Jeff Fultz all the way back down to 3rd.
Cecil Chun, Jason Hogan.
Top 5 only 75 points apart.
It's going to be a great race the rest of the year. Well, that'll do it here in Kentucky. Good night tonight for Scott Carlson, for Phil Parsons and Glenn Jarrett. I'm Mike Hawkwood. So long from Kentucky.